That was wonderful. One more round of applause for Asia Norton. I now ask former Dean David Lopez, the dean you had when you started law school, to introduce our faculty speaker, Sahar Aziz.
Congratulations, class of 2023. Si se puede. And to all the families who are here, to all the loved ones who are here, and those who are not here, and those who helped us from beyond, today is a day of celebration and pride, and it's a day to lean into our joy and lean into our accomplishments. Congratulations to all of you, La Familia, the Rutgers Law School. It is my honor and my pleasure to introduce my strikeout colleague and put friend, to introduce my friend and colleague, Professor Sahar Aziz, as this year's faculty speaker, chosen by you, the graduating class. Professor Aziz's scholarship examines the intersection of national security, race, religion, and civil rights with a focus on the adverse impact of national security laws and policies on the racial, religious, and ethnic minorities. She is the author of the book, The Racial Muslim, When Racism Quashes Religious Freedom, and the founding director of our Center for Security, Race, and Rights. Professor Aziz is a recipient of the Derek A. Bell Award from the Association of American Law Schools and was named a Middle Eastern and North African American national security and foreign policy next generation leader by New America in 2020 and a Soros Equality Fellow in 2021. And it goes on and on and on and on. Class of 2023, my class of 2023, our faculty speaker, Sahar Aziz.
Graduates, stand up. The People's Electric Law School class of 2023. Stand up. Stand proud. Be seen. Irfa'u raskum. Look around. All eyes are on you because this is your day to shine, to glimmer and shimmer in the limelight of praise by those who love you, your parents and your partners, sus hermanos y sus niños, Geddo, Weteta, who have sacrificed in countless ways to make today happen for you. Thank you. Alf shukran. Muchas gracias a nuestras familias. For 3 years, your needs as our law students have lied at the center of our institutional attention. Since your first day of orientation in August 2020, online, the faculty and staff have come to work every day, every semester, every year with one goal in mind: to train you to be competent, ethical, and passionate lawyers for your future clients. So today marks the end of you being the center of attention. Your needs, your feelings, your desires can no longer take precedence as you embark on your legal career. Today marks the beginning, indeed the most transformative beginning of your career, when you must shift your focus to your client. Whether she is the business owner seeking to expand internationally, or he is the victim of domestic abuse, whether he is the transgender Latino facing workplace discrimination, or the Jewish father assaulted by a white supremacist, your client's interests must always be at the center of the case. You will have different clients depending on the choices you make. From the wealthy individuals and corporations represented by your big law employer with boundless resources, to the Syrian refugee family who barely escaped death, represented by a resourceful and fierce Rutgers Law graduate. Each individual client will have different interests, and each of you will sit at different places at the negotiation table, stand on different sides of the courtroom. But there is one collective client that every lawyer serves: our society. Each one of us on this stage and each one of you today serves our society throughout our entire legal careers, regardless how novice or seasoned. Whether we are in the private or the public sector, whether we earn thousands or millions of dollars a year, we, the lawyers, are the guardians of our society's democracy. We, the lawyers, are responsible for ensuring the rule of law is a reality, not merely an aspiration. A responsibility that, if carried out to its fullest, will most certainly earn the ire of the rich and powerful when their interests do not align. How seriously we take our jobs as litigators, prosecutors, public defenders, elected officials, judges, and professors determines whether our fellow residents take the law seriously. But practicing law is not enough. Our willingness to expose how law internalizes our collective biases determines whether our society will continue down the dangerous path of a nation comprised of different justice systems, different Americas, different realities on the same soil. The home of the brave and the land of the free for those we are socialized to humanize. The land of oppression and humiliation for those that our media, our government, and our laws dehumanize as the other. Now, to be sure, these challenges are not new. Like in the past, immigrants are still the convenient scapegoats for all problems in society. Last century, it was the Chinese and Japanese excluded and interned. Today, it is Muslims banned, Central Americans expelled, and our brave dreamers trapped in a state of precarity. And we still revile the poor. But how the law contributes to these challenges today is different in important ways. Earlier generations of lawyers lived in a society where sexism was overt. Explicit racism was acceptable in mainstream circles. Today, the structures of inequality that are all too visible to its victims, while invisible to its beneficiaries, are embedded in a colorblind meta-narrative, one that releases us from responsibility and self-reflection. The daily reproductions of a racialized order ensures that certain races and ethnicities are systematically underrepresented in positions of power and overrepresented in the lowest socioeconomic strata of our society, including our prisons. Such systemic racism is not the product of tens of millions of overt racists, but rather upheld by all of us in our daily behaviors and actions that are normative, habitual, and often unconscious. These habits buttress power through us as lawyers and judges and legislators in our daily presumptions about the people we represent, the people we work with, supervise, or report to. Presumptions of incompetency that might be overcome by working harder, smarter, better than the average worker. Never mind that the grit and determination that got them across oceans, over mountains, leaving all that is familiar to them, their homes, their families, is in and of itself proof that they are increíble, los inmigrantes, el muhajirun. Presumptions of criminality that can be debunked with a flawless record that only the superhuman can attain. Perfection in speech, dress, behavior, according to the preferences of the powerful and wealthy. Even the slightest error will cost you your home or your job. And if you are Black, the stakes quickly ratchet up to your liberty and your life. Black lives must matter. Presumptions of irrationality and poor judgment because you dare to feel sadness and outrage at the glaring difference between the America described in your middle school books and the America you live as a woman. Second-guessed, mansplained, overlooked for the promotion for rejecting the false choice between a family and a career. Presumptions of disloyalty because you dissent, because you resist American exceptionalism that explains away the murder of black men by the people sworn to protect us, because you condemn our government for killing millions of Arabs and Muslims in the name of spreading democracy around the world, surveilled, harassed, and investigated for believing that freedom of speech extends to Palestinians. The myriad forces in our lives urge us to treat such outcomes as merely personal choices with individual consequences, not systems harming us collectively. I hope that the past 3 years of learning under the guidance of the outstanding faculty at Rutgers Law School has imparted on you that we, the lawyers, cannot afford to turn a blind eye to the myth of individualism. Our relationship with our society, which is a constellation of systems, is uniquely influential. Our profession plays a pivotal role in creating and enforcing a system of laws that empowers some while oppressing others. Laws that do not require equal pay for equal work, causing white women to earn on average 82 cents for every dollar that a white man earns, Black women to earn 63 cents for every dollar, and Latina women to earn 58 cents for every dollar. Laws that do not subsidize childcare, even though society still expects women to be the primary caregiver. Laws that deny women their full reproductive freedom and bodily autonomy, which disproportionately harms women of color. Laws that criminalize the very presence of black bodies in white spaces, nuisance laws, loitering laws, doctrines of racial incongruence. Laws that allow the government to separate children from their parents simply because they are undocumented or poor. We live on the same soil, but we experience different Americas. An America that liberates, another that imprisons with cruelty. An America that values life while killing the other with indifference. An America that welcomes some refugees with open arms while deporting others callously. An America that enriches the privileged while entrapping racial minorities in cycles of poverty. These different Americas are propped up by laws and policies that make it easier for most white and affluent people and communities to isolate themselves in neighborhoods that are largely physically separated from communities of color, marked by joblessness, concentrated poverty, environmental hazards, disease, and violence. Now, I know these are hard truths to face if you have only experienced the better side of America, but I also know that some of you enrolled in the People's Electric Law School because what I have described today reflects you and your loved ones' lived experiences. We see you. When we, the lawyers, are not tenaciously committed to eliminating these multiple Americas, our collective client suffers. Our society needs each and every one of us to be brave, to have integrity, to think beyond our own individual material interests for the common good. To do that, you must continue to ask tough questions that you explored during your legal education here with us. Is there a single justice system for all, or multiple tiers of justice that deteriorate the further away a person is from whiteness, heterosexuality, middle class status, and Judeo-Christian identity? Can our democracy survive if money equals justice? Can our legal system retain its legitimacy if money grants access to the powerful, who in turn uphold a justice system inaccessible to low-income communities? And can we create a legal system that humanizes all of us, where we get second chances when we make mistakes and values each of our lives equally? And perhaps the most important question of all that you must ask throughout your career, from the first day until the very last: what am I, the lawyer, going to do about it? The answer is simple: care. Care about the state of our society. Whether you choose to use your talents to represent those living in the worst side of America, or give your money to fund our colleagues who have chosen to work in the trenches, our society needs you to care about it. To care that we do not all live in the same America, in large part because of our legal system. To care that law is more often used to uphold systems of oppression than tools of liberation. Today, on one of the most important days in your career, I challenge you, our newest members of this noble profession, after you pass the bar in July, inshallah, I challenge you to join us in the intergenerational struggle to create a justice system that produces an America that lives up to its aspirations, to be a land of the free for all, to be a nation that values the life and dignity of everyone on its soil. For we, the lawyers, are the foundation on which justice stands. People's Electric Law School class of 2023, be bold, be fierce, and be the change we have been waiting for. Thank you.